Sinop is a city with a population of 36,734 on the isthmus of Ince Burun, near Cape Sinope, which is situated on the most northern edge of the Turkish side of the Black Sea coast, in the ancient region of Paphlagonia, in modern-day northern Turkey. The city serves as the capital of Sinop Province. History: long used as a Hittite port, which appears in Hittite sources as Sinope. The city proper was refounded as a Greek colony from the city of Miletus in the 7th century BC. Sinope flourished as the Black Sea port of a caravan route that led from the upper Euphrates Valley. It issued its own coinage, founded colonies, and gave its name to a red earth pigment called Sinopia, which was mined in Cappadocia for use throughout the ancient world. Sinope escaped Persian domination until the early 4th century BC. It was ruled by Diogenes from 301 to 280 BC. In 183 BC it was captured by Pharnaces I and became capital of the Kingdom of Pontus. The Roman general Lucullus conquered Sinope in 70 BC, and Julius Caesar established a Roman colony there, Colonia Julia Felix, in 47 BC. Mithridates Eupator was born and buried at Sinope, and it was the birthplace of Diogenes, of Diphilus, poet and actor of the New Attic comedy, of the historian Baton, and of the Christian heretic of the 2nd century AD, Marcion. After the division of the Roman Empire in 395, Sinope remained with the Eastern Roman or Byzantine Empire. Its history in the early Byzantine period is obscure, except for isolated events. It was used by Justinian II as a base from which to reconnoiter. Cherson participated in the rebellion of the Armeniac theme in 793, was the site of Theophobus' proclamation as emperor by his Karaite troops in 838, and suffered its early attack by the Arabs in 858. In 1081, the city was captured by the Seljuk Turks, who found there a sizable treasury, but Sinope was soon recovered by Alexios I Komnenos, ushering a period of prosperity under the Komnenian dynasty. After the sacking of Constantinople by the Fourth Crusade in 1204, it was captured for the Empire of Trebizond by David Komnenos, until the Seljuk Turks of Rum successfully captured the city in 1214. The city returned briefly to Trapezuntine rule in 1254, but returned to Turkish control in 1265, where it has remained since. After 1265, Sinop became home to two successive independent emirates following the fall of the Seljuks, the Pavane and the Jandarids. The Ottoman Sultan Mehmet II overawed Ismail, the emir of Sinope, on his march on Trebizond, and forced him to surrender the city to the Sultan late June 1461, without a fight. The emir was exiled to Philippopolis in northern Thrace. In November 1853, at the start of the Crimean War, in the Battle of Sinop, the Russians, under the command of Admiral Nakhimov, destroyed an Ottoman frigate squadron in Sinop, leading Britain and France to declare war on Russia. In the late 19th and early 20th century, Sinop was part of the Kastamonu Vilayet of the Ottoman Empire. As of 1920, Sinop was described as populated mainly by Greeks with an approximate population of 8,000. It was also considered the safest port between Bosphorus and Batum at the time. During this period, the port was exporting wheat, tobacco, seeds, timber and hides. They imported produce, coal and hardware. Sinop hosted a U.S. military base that was important for intelligence during the Cold War era. The U.S. base was closed in 1992. Explorer Bob Ballard discovered an ancient shipwreck northwest of Sinop in the Black Sea and was shown on National Geographic. Climate. Sinop has an oceanic climate. Sinop has warm and humid summers with an average daytime high of 26 degrees Celsius. However, temperatures rarely exceed 30 degrees Celsius. The highest recorded temperature for Sinop was 34.4 degrees Celsius on the 6th of July 2000. The winters are cool and wet. The average for winter ranging around 5 degrees Celsius. The lowest recorded temperature for Sinop was -7.5 degrees Celsius on the 21st of February 1985. Snowfall is quite common between the months of December and March, snowing for a week or two. Economy. As of 1920, Sinop was producing embroidered cotton cloth. They also were known for boat building. The British described the boats produced in Sinop as being of primitive design but sound workmanship. Sinop is currently slated to be the site of the Sinop nuclear power plant, a $15.8 billion nuclear power plant being developed by Electric Euratom, Energy, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries and Itochu. The plant will consist of 4 reactors, with construction to begin as early as 2017 and completion by 2028. Cultural and other attractions. Visitor attraction places in Sinop are: Pasha Bastion is a half-moon coastal bastion, a semicircular fortification, situated southeast of Sinop Peninsula. It was constructed to protect the city against attacks coming from the Black Sea during the Russo-Turkish or Crimean War. It features an artillery battery of 11 cannons, an arsenal and basement. Today, it is used as a place for refreshments premise. Historic Water Tunnel is an ancient underground water supply channel situated at Suluklugalong and has a clearance of 1.50 meters. There exists a 20 to 30 meters high cylindrical ventilation shaft of 1.50 meters diameter. Balatla Church is a ruined church from the Byzantine Empire period. It is partly preserved as only the chapel vault is in undamaged condition, while other parts of the church have no roof anymore. Fresco paintings on the chapel's ceiling and on the nave walls are still intact. Serapeum is a ruined temple dedicated to the combined Hellenistic ancient Egyptian deity Serapis, situated in the southwestern corner in the yard of Sinop Archaeological Museum. Aladdin Mosque is a 13th-century mosque of Seljuk architecture named after its endowed Sultan Aladdin Ubad I. Havain Medres is a former Islamic religious school, which was closed down after the proclamation of the Republic. The 13th-century building was used as a depot for archaeological artifacts and ethnographic items from 1932 on, and served as a museum between 1941 and 1970. It hosts souvenir shops today. Sinop Fortress is a fortification surrounding the peninsula and the isthmus of Sinop. It was built initially by migrants from Miletus in the 8th century BC. The fortress underwent reparation and expansion to its current extent during the reign of King Mithridates IV of Pontus in the 2nd century BC after its destruction by the Cimmerians in the 7th century BC. Some parts of the fortress, especially the north walls, are ruined. Sinop Fortress Prison is a defunct state prison situated inside the Sinop Fortress. Served between 1887 and 1997, the prison rose to fame when it featured in many literature works of notable authors, who were inmates of the prison for political reasons. It became also a shooting set for many movies and television series. It is a prison museum today. Sinop Archaeological Museum is a 1941 established archaeological museum exhibiting artifacts dating back to early Bronze Age and from the Hellenistic Roman, Byzantine, Seljuk and Ottoman periods as well. Sinop Ethnographic Museum is a museum of ethnography which exhibits belonging to the cultural history of the region. It is situated in a large 18th-century mansion. Statue of Diogenes is a monument to the ancient Greek philosopher Diogenes of Sinope, born in Sinop in about 412 BC. Notable people: historical Aquila of Sinope, Bible translator; Diogenes of Sinope, philosopher; Diphilus, middle comedy playwright; Gazi Chelebi, naval commander; Isfender Yahbey of the Kanda Beylik; Marcion of Sinope, heretic; Mithridates VI of Pontus, king of Pontus; St. Helen of Sinope. Saidi Ali Reis, Ottoman admiral, writer and scientist, was born into a family who was originally from Sinop. Contemporary Reza Enua, politician; Ahmet Mahip Duranas, poet; Necmettin Erbakan, former prime minister; Patriarch Maximus V of Constantinople, ecumenical patriarch of Constantinople; Osman Pamukoglu, politician; Metin Tuglus, footballer; Hakan Unsal, footballer; Sana Uzun, footballer. Miscellaneous. Sinope has given its name to the outermost satellite of Jupiter. A crater on Mars is named after Sinop. Sister cities. Sinop has 10 sister cities. Gallery.